For anyone who's just now joining the stream, sorry, I lost internet. I just had to restart the stream. That'll be fun when I try to post this later. Might not post the session 0. We'll see. Haven't posted session 0
I
for
don't
the
know.
last
You
couple
already
ones.
did your shoutouts and stuff, so.
Yeah, I already did my shoutouts.
Yeah.
I'll do all those again later. I always do them at the end, anyways.
Just out of curiosity,
Yes.
what are the most important stuff for barbarians as far as stats go? I know it's like strength, dex,
Strength.
and constitution.
Con, dex, strength.
Yep. Constitution and strength are usually considered two of your biggest ones, especially con, because you don't have armor.
Yeah, I
you
think
can
it said like
eventually wear-
dexterity.
But
Or yeah, dexterity is for
yeah,
for the
con,
health
dex,
is yeah.
literally all the physical attribute stats are the key important ones.
Yes.
Because with
So fuck
con and
wisdom and
dex,
fuck
it makes your
intelligence.
ace. Yeah, pretty much. Because
Yeah,
con and
Maybe I
dex
won't make
make your
those
AC.
negative, though.
Strength makes your obviously whacking.
Let's see. So
I made my charisma. I left my charisma at the minimum.
Ooh, you have a new picture for Cinder.
Yeah, I couldn't find my old one. Hey, by the way, I have a question.
Is it?
Yes.
So since I'm playing a tiefling, it is giving me the subclass option, but all of them have spells, and I don't want that. So I figured we could do a custom one.
You can, or if you want to, you can just it'll give you the spells, and you can either just delete them or just not use them. One or the other.
Oh, okay. I'll probably do that then.
Yeah, you can do it either kind of way. So even though her character is a Besmet and has a natural connection to magic, the character itself does not know about this. One, because Besmet are still kind of learning what they are, as well as everyone else learning what they are, but also because of some other things that we'll find out in character. Aaron kind of already has an idea because it's a similar concept to what they knew before, but we'll still find out in character about why they aren't as magically connected as other Besmet are. But yeah, you can kind of just pick whichever one there, whichever one you think will work best for you, and then either, like I said, keep the spells or use them later if they do end up learning more about that, or you can just delete them
Oh, yeah,
off your
that's
sheet.
true, I could do that.
Yeah, or you can just ignore them, whichever one, honestly. When you guys are making characters, you'll do the same as you do for all my other games. It'll be your health will be the average when you start. You don't have to roll for your first level. You guys will all be level 1 when this starts. Your equipment will be starting equipment instead of starting gold, and your stats will be the 27 point buy stat system.
Yep.
Otherwise, yeah, everything else usually works exactly the same for that. Let me get some. Let's see. Aaron's is the one that is currently Laura Softpaws. Oh, you've already got your token and everything in there. Cool. Perfect.
Mm.
Let me, boom, drag you on there. And then for your character, Blunt, the name that it has right there, the Dorgon Umalat, is that what you're going to go with, or is that just a random name it popped up with?
I think that's the right one.
Okay. If you've, yeah. So when
Oh, I
you're
like your new artwork, by the way.
I do still have your old artwork if you do end up wanting it, or at least I have the token for it at the very least.
No, I just, well, I wasn't able to get like an actual art of her yet.
Right.
So unfortunately, that's AI. So please don't compliment me.
Hey, that's okay.
That artwork looks awful.
Thank you. No, that does make me feel better.
Yeah, so
It looks
just so you guys
trash.
know, if you do ever want to get some good artwork for your characters, one of the players in the Monday and Tuesday game named Gravity, I still got to get you in on my gaming server, Aaron. That way you can talk to some of the players of the other games too. We run the games in one server, but I have another server that I do other things in. Her name is Gravity. She does artwork, and she did the artwork for her character for both those games, and is actually working on artwork for other characters in her games and in the other games that are run by us. All the ones that she's doing for players within the thing, if it's just the basic artwork for the character, she's willing to do for free. It might take a little while to do them because she has other things going on as well, but she's willing to do all those artworks for free. And then if you want to do things like comics or little like images of them otherwise, I think she'll be taking commissions for those. But yeah, she's willing to help out with free artwork. She's even doing, which I think you guys will find exciting, artwork for the pet gnome and for 4 in the Chronicles of Telpha thing. She's doing, I think it's One Piece that's going to have both of them in there. I'm not sure, but she's doing artwork for both of them, which I'm super excited to see. Because 4
I'm
4 is just
better for the artwork for this one, but for Zeph, I actually am going to be working or commissioning from the artist that did Biscuit.
oh, nice, very nice. I'm excited to see that. Let's see. So for you, Blunt Man, for now, if you'd like, we can use the image that you found, or I can help you find another one as well. If you'd like, that way it's a little bit
I'm
more.
fine with whatever. If you think you can get a better one, go for it, bro.
I'm like
just looking at my equipment.
I used to have a bunch of
on my equipment page now.
Gotcha. You also probably, especially since mechanic-wise you're an orc, the best weapon for you to have barbarian-wise is probably going to be a great axe. Just so you know, if you're wanting to really,
I was leaning towards that anyway.
Really hit hard. Orcs, and I think orcs do. I know half orcs do. Have a racial ability that when they hit with great axes, they can do a little bit more damage when they crit. I only know this because in my Baldur's Gate 3 run through, since it's an honor mode run, I'm actually min-maxing the character, which I normally don't do for D&D based characters. I'm min-maxing it because it's honor mode, and wanting to do a barbarian, and orc barbarian was the best way to go with it. His name is Nasty Nork. Fun times. Let's see. Nowadays, finding gorilla folk art is a little bit easier than it used to be.
I just picked Gorilla Garage because that's like just a big known one, and I didn't want to steal some random guy's like picture.
Yeah, that's fair. I can also generate a temporary image until we eventually get cool images for everyone. There is a unofficial race. There's a couple unofficial races that are gorillas. There's like one that's called like the Ape Man, one that's the Gorilla Folk, the Monkey Folk. I don't have access to any of those, and honestly, with the way that they work personality-wise in this world, they didn't super fit. The gorillas or the Gorillian are essentially Telpha's version of orcs, and orcs in the sense of they like to fight, they like honor, blood, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's essentially what the Gorillians are. They're not as at this point in time in the story, they're not as gung-ho and violent about it as they were before they got knocked down to nothing. They're still kind of learning the world, so they're not as I'm going to fight every single thing I see within it. But they're getting there. I would probably say let's work on, once you're done with your character sheet, are you going orc or half orc for what your race is like based off of?
I didn't even see half orc as an option, so
really?
It's going to be full orc.
Okay, yeah. It should be an option in there because that's one of the base races. But orc is totally fine as well. Probably more fitting, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I think oddly enough, orc instead of half orc comes from, or can come from, the same book as like kobolds and goblins and stuff like that. One of the monster races books, which I always thought was weird because they're not always monster races. They're just not half human. But hey, whatever. Apparently also half orcs do well as paladins. I see that a lot. I don't know how exactly that works for that. But Yes, so about 2,400 years ago, from the modern times, is when a big war known as the God War started happening. In the God War, it was essentially Tolina and all of her followers, those who were loyal to her, fighting against Itrix, Kagmar, and Miras, and all of their followers. Um, and this was because Tolina, for the most part, does not like the other races. Um, Anything that is not one that she created,
Man.
she thinks is inferior. So she wants to wipe out the other races, especially humans and those that were created by Itrix. She helped create the humans, but she
Crazy.
thinks they're not good. Um, what some people don't, what your characters would not know, is that all of the gods and goddesses are actually Rigarians, um, and they became gods themselves and left Rigaros and formed Gilidris, Dalari, and Moscar. Um, and them leaving is considered to be, as of right now, I won't spoil too much for the other campaign in case they're watching. Um, that is the theory between those who know of this information, which is very few people, as to why Rigaros fell apart in the first place. Um, it is believed that the gods need to actively maintain a realm for it to continue to exist. So that's why the three realms aren't in chaos right now, is because all the gods are here, so they're
Mm.
presumably maintaining them. Um, but Tolina wants to destroy the other races and make her races the only ones that exist because she's the only one, or she thinks those are the only ones that deserve to exist. That would be the Winter Elves are the main ones, but she also helped create some different giants, some different trolls, the what essentially will be this world's version of Goliaths and stuff like that. All non-player races, but other things that exist. So that war hasn't started happening yet. That war is what saw Miras, Kagmar, and Tolina all disappear. Nobody knows what really happened to any of them. Um, they'll eventually
It
find out
was
in the
me.
Monday.
I ate them.
Yeah, it was you guys all along. No, but this campaign is going to be kind of a chain of events through the world that leads up to this happening, up to the dwarves potentially splitting, um, and some other different events that will shape how the future of Telpha ends up by the time of the modern events in 2,500 years ago. There'll also be things that kind of, you know, also happen that are connected, little player stories and other things. Um, One thing that might happen is now we know why Besmet are treated a certain way once we have a Besmet that's out in the world, because that's super rare to see. Like, most of you have never seen a Besmet before in your life, especially the Gorillion. But hey, that's a whole different thing. Um,
Honestly, I mean, if Gorillans are super new, they probably haven't seen me before either.
yeah, exactly. It's very rare to see Gorillons. Um, so the Gorillions, a lot of the way that they probably are interacting with the world nowadays is they are, people know that they are insanely strong physical wise, and um, although they can use magic, most of them have either just not bothered learning how to yet, or they don't know how to. um, but some people know that they have a potential for it, so they're kind of uh, they're kind of exploring that with them too. So a lot of Gorillians are getting shipped out of Moscar, the island world that you live in, and they are being brought to Dalari so that they can be used as hired muscle, hired labor workers, different things like that. Um, Also, just so you have an idea, I'm sending you a picture right now, Bluntman, of what Moscar looks like.
Huge.
That way, you know, it's literally just a huge island, swampy, jungly. They're the big race there, but even they have not explored like 50% of the island. The island is largely unexplored, even still 2,500 years from now. Eventually, some of the other races, like spring elves, they also exist on Dalari. A little bit different than how they do in the other ones, but that's about the only other race that you would actually already know. Um, Otherwise, the rest of them are kind of new to you.
Okay.
Um,
I gotcha.
Once you guys have your character sheets done, if you're making them in the Roll20, let me know and I'll take a look at them. If you're not making them in Roll20,
Mine should be done.
okay, cool.
I'm done too.
And what?
I'm surprised. I have less health as a fucking massive barbarian than I do as a gnome ranger.
For now,
It's crazy.
you will quickly
Okay, I
get
gotta
way more health.
run out real fast. So I'll
Yes,
be
go
back
ahead.
in-
Yeah, go ahead. Luckily for you, we already know a lot about your character stuff, so that'll work. I'm going to real quick try to see if I
And
can get a
there's my
picture.
character sheet.
Fantastic, thank you. Let's see.
Yeah.
The Gorillian or gorilla humanoids. I'm gonna try to render a picture and see if we can get you a little bit of a better one real quick, at least as temporary.
Okay.
Better be okay.
Gorilla's a Flash villain, not a Batman villain.
It depends. If you watch the old school Justice League, they're all kind of each other's villains.
Well, yeah, I suppose that is
I
also
do always
true.
find it funny though that like the Flash has some bad guys that are like from his thing that just compared to some of the other ones are so fucking random. It's like, yeah, you got the reverse
Oh my
Flash.
lord,
That
yes.
makes sense. Also, against the super fast guy, another one of the bad guys is a gorilla. Like, wait, what? What the fuck? Or
Yeah,
this
that's
guy
what I'm
that's
talking about. Like,
cold.
where the fuck did the gorilla come from, bro?
He has the reverse Flash, probably the most makes sense arch nemesis of one of the DC bad guys. And then you have a guy who throws boomerangs, a guy who does cold stuff, and a gorilla. And it's like, wait, what the fuck?
See, I think the cold guy was kind of lazy because we already have Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of was a little bit. The
I think
boomerangs is
Captain
just so
Cold
off
is kind
the,
of
off the
lazy.
wall.
Yeah, yeah, this is fair. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you already have a cold villain. Now you got two guys doing the same shit.
Now, do you have an idea of what kind of color scheme you're wanting for this gorilla? Like, are you wanting to be like a silverback gorilla, or maybe be more of like a brown-haired gorilla, or a, I don't know, oddly
Yeah,
white
You know,
silverback.
silverback?
orangutan?
You could technically do an orangutan if you wanted to. I'd be okay with that.
They are strong as fuck.
Yeah, they'll rip your face off.
Oh yeah, orangutans are, I think, underrated
Well, they're
compared
also
to what they
generally
can do.
calmer.
They are until you really, really piss them off. But if you piss them off,
Yeah, that sounds like
they're
generally.
unstoppable. All right, so let me open up your character sheet on D&D Beyond real quick so I can take a look at that. Cookies, accept all. Let's see, we got some cons, some strength. Yeah, -1 charisma. If I remember right, for the Telpha game, none of you guys had super good charisma either, but you guys made it work.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I didn't focus
my
on it, but I also
wizard
didn't make it negative.
moderate. Yeah.
Armor class is 16, not bad, not bad. Oh, that's right, you're a cleric in this one. I was like, dang, that's pretty good for a wizard. I forgot that you're a cleric now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Looks good.
Maybe there's gonna be like an orangutan race offshoot of the gorillans.
Yeah, a lot of, so you can use literally just any monkey-based race. It doesn't have to be a gorilla. They're just called the Gorillians. So you
the
can
gorillas
have.
are where it's
Monkey.
at.
Ooh, this is an image that says aura. I'll post it to you directly, and then we'll put it in the thing if you like it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I thought you might like that. That's got some aura to it. I'll post it. Let's see. I'll put it right here for you guys to see.
That is pretty good.
For first generation without changing anything, that's pretty good. Um, oh, I guess I have to save it onto my computer first. That's all. That's always helpful.
Mm.
I need to make room on my laptop. This is a very old one. Back when having 200 gigabytes on your hard drive was considered having a good size hard drive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, this computer is from 2011. It was a gaming
my
computer.
lord.
It was a gaming computer at the time. It was a Republic of Gamers computer. So when I got it, it was one of the best things you can have laptop-wise when it came to gaming. Um, Now, as 2026, not so much the case.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine so.
Let's see. Whoops, I'm trying to put that on the map layer. We don't want that.
My laptop's only a couple of years old.
I'm looking at getting a new one that is essentially the like 2025 version of what I have now. Look at that bad boy.
Fair.
That's a good looking Gorillion right there. He looks like he can mess you up. He'll be fun to see around.
Oh yeah, for real.
Nobody has ever played a Gorillion in any of the times that I've done Telpha so
Cowards.
far. I'm excited for it. I'm so excited for it.
Honestly, Orc fit pretty damn good, I would say.
Yes, yeah. I thought this was one of the ones that I really wanted to make sure it fit, because like the elves, the dwarves, those ones, like you can kind of do whatever the hell you want really with those. It's not really going to make all that much of a difference. But with the Gorillions, I was like, I feel like there's got to be one that's going to fit much better, much more gooder, and I think I found the one that fits much more gooder for them.
Oh god, did he die again?
Did I? My internet
Who?
is. My internet is.
No, he
crap.
didn't die.
Oh, okay, I'm still here.
No. Oh, okay,
Maybe
he's
it's
back.
him. Maybe. Oh, okay. Maybe it's
Maybe
you
it's
that's
me.
dying.
Yeah, maybe me. Could be.
It very much could be. Let's see. We'll make this like that. That might work. I gotta kind of. There we go. Let's see. What kind of border color are you thinking for your image? Do you want kind of a black or to more match the character, or are you thinking more like a swampy green for his homeland, or
I'm thinking like bright green.
bright green? Okay, we can definitely work on bright green.
Like lime green?
Yeah.
I think I have.
That's the color I made his eyes in the bio, like bright.
I think I have a token that you will like then. I'm also gonna put his actual picture up here, and then I can start adjusting the overlay so that people can see that too and actually know what the heck we're looking at. Oh, fun bit of news, even though it's another player again. Um, the Twitch got its second subscriber. The first one was Unicorn, using their Prime Twitch subscription thing, I think. And Gravity also subscribed recently. As soon as I can get to where I can run ads, that'll actually mean something.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's always pretty fun. But yesterday's game was, I didn't think on my part that it went super well. It was a module for Storm King's Thunder, but we went from having only 2 potential players and not expecting to do a session 0 or a session 1 this week to having all 5 within less than 24 hours and wanting to run an actual session 1. And it's an actual module because it's Storm King's Thunder, so it's not one that I can kind of just bullshit around and just throw out lore. I have to kind of know what's going on. There we go. Boom. Token.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Awesome.
That looks good.
Yeah. We'll set those up in just a second as well. I didn't think I did
King
as well.
Kong?
Yeah. He his full image is if it'll is it gonna drop it? Oh come on, why are you being a pain in my butt?
So a monkey, a cat, and a horny lady walks into a bar.
There we go. Look at that. That's good. Even
Hmm.
has the orcish like clothing and stuff. I like it. Very tribal like. I wanted to make sure that this was still like when they were new to the world. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I think that turned
yeah.
out
His
pretty
whole
good.
goal is to make his tribe famous or something. I think is what I made it.
Ooh,
Like he wants to have like a famous barbarian tribe or some
yeah.
shit.
You know that fits really well because eventually one of the things that the Grillians do, more so once they really get big into magic, is they try to conquer Gilladris, the other continent, because they have a superiority complex. Um,
Mm,
Now, while your character might not have a straight up superiority complex like they do, a wanting to get your tribe famous and known is definitely a good stepping stone towards that. Um, in
yeah.
fact, I haven't really named too many of the tribes or the troops that the
Oh
Guerrillians
shoot.
still work on in the
So this
modern
could
world.
become a feature.
So this could be the tribe that eventually gets there. Um, so like
That's kind of
your
epic. Yeah.
chieftain, your chief of your tribe has you know sent you. I'm thinking that instead of being one that was dragged off to Dalari, that you were actually like volunteered to go to Dalari or was sent to Dalari to
Yeah.
make a name in the name of the tribe. Um, so
Yeah. That's cool.
your actions directly affect the reputation of the tribe, and your chief sent you as one of the more known warriors within your tribe to come over here and do these things. But
He's also like
mhm.
not quite fully grown yet.
Oh,
So like
cool.
technically they're adults at 12, but they can keep getting bigger until they're 15, and I've made
Right.
him 13.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
So he's still gonna get bigger too,
Yes.
which I think adds up with him being level 1.
Yeah, I think that does. That'll definitely add up pretty good. There will be a little bit of some time skips of a year or two here and there as well in this one, as you guys kind of go around to different events that are happening around Telpha. So that
Okay.
that gives you time to also grow physically as well instead of just level wise, which I think will be pretty cool. Um,
Yeah.
this campaign, unlike the original Telpha, might not go to the full level 20. It might be similar to how the Veiled World is, where around 12 or 15 is our max level. I'm not 100% sure yet, um, because with this story, unlike the Chronicles of Telpha, this one is in development as we play with certain things. Um, I know overall big things that eventually happen, but how we get to those points, this is kind of like the I developed the backstory to what the modern one is, but this is going to be the backstory to the backstory, essentially, which I have not developed except for a few little
Okay.
parts here and there. So you guys will have a good chance to affect how different things happen in the world, which I think will be pretty fun. Um,
Yeah, that's cool.
Gilladris, Gilladris has a large population of dwarves and humans. The elven races aren't as populated on this one, except for the winter elves. Um, up
So it's
in
a good thing I picked Dwarvish as a language.
up in this area, right up in here on the world map. That's what this background is the world map of Gilladris, by the way. Up in this area is where a lot of the winter elves are at. And a little bit in the mountains, but the mountains are big for the dwarves. Um, and
See, it's funny because my languages that I've chosen are Common, Dwarvish, and Gnomish.
nice. The gnomes aren't originally from Gilladris, but a lot of them have started migrating here because they have a good relationship with the dwarves. Essentially, at this point in the story, since they haven't had their magical technology boom, they've been working with the dwarves to kind of start learning. They've all started showing an interest in it, but also the dwarves kind of helped get them out of the um, lesser level of development that they were in. They weren't like low development like the Gorillians were, but they weren't in like normal levels of development like the other races were. And of course, the Velki, actually, if I remember right, the Velki and the Mali also have small pockets in Moskar, the island that the Gorillians are from as well, but they're kind of uncontacted at the moment. So the Gorillians might know that they existed before Moskar was discovered, but haven't really interacted with them. Um, but the other ones, they are also originally from Gilladris, but a lot of them have moved here because the big thing for the Velki and the Mali races is a lot of them are they're very nomadic with how they live. They don't normally set up cities. They normally have caravans that they travel in, and it's usually a mix of Mali and Velki. There's only one that existed in the Chronicles of Telpha that was purely Velki, which I believe I called the Blood Fur, if I remember right. And they're essentially just
Yeah.
warriors that help out other caravans. They most likely still exist even all the way back now, but they are on Gilladris. There might be a
Yeah.
similar thing that exists on, or I'm sorry, they existed on Dolari. There might be a similar thing that exists on Gilladris, though. We'll have to see.
I
Um,
was gonna say, funny enough, with our monk happened to be talking about making their clan like well known and higher up. That's a little bit of the same goal of Laura, pretty much making it so she's trying to tie all the various clans and groups to
nice.
kind of be within a soft paw touch.
I'm going to adjust real quick so you guys will be able to see eventually once you click on your tokens. I'm adjusting the colors for the circles. The red circle will be the one that your health goes in. The black circle will be the one that your AC goes in, and then the white circle is kind of a use for what you want. Um, One suggestion that I have for you, Blunt, for what you can use your white circle for is the number of rages that you have left, because that'll be a
I'll have to figure out how to set that up.
well, with the white one, all you would do is just put a number in there. Um, you wouldn't have.
Oh, I can just click on it.
Yeah, you can just click on it and add a number in.
Huge.
I don't think I can like. I don't think there's a actual option to automatically set that part up. I can set up the HP and the AC to automatically pull from your sheet, but I can't do it for the rage. But but yeah, you would essentially just put
How do I tell
What do you mean?
how many? How do I tell how many I get?
Let's see. When you open
Is
your
that in
sheet,
spells?
it should be. It won't be in
No.
spells. It'll be under core. Um, it would be. I don't know if it actually has a spot that says it.
It doesn't say. Oh
So-
wait, yeah, okay, it does say. Okay,
Yeah.
I have
so,
2 total for level 1.
Oh, where does it? Where's it? Oh, okay. I see it now. Right there, raged. Right underneath that. Yeah. So level 1 you get 2, and then eventually you get more. Depending on what subclass you go with, your rages turn into like enrage or something instead, which is essentially the same thing. The big thing for your rages
Yeah.
is, which I think is still the
I
case
do
at level 1.
on that.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say on the note of the subclasses, I have a question on how one of them works.
Yes. Well, what you got? I'm gonna look at this.
So, the zealot one is intriguing, but I wonder how it actually plays in game because it seems like it'd be really like almost too good.
I'll
Oh
have-
no, it's actually pretty easy.
Yes, I don't know.
Well,
the Zealot one off
it
the top
sounds
of
like
my head.
functional immune. It basically seems like it's functionally immortal.
Not well, not immortal, no. So what it is like because you're a zealot, it gives you more or less the ability of say you die. And thankfully, with me being a cleric, I would have the ability to get into things like various resurrection spells. Now, if you die and I happen to be high enough level and I do have that spell prepared, I don't have to have the material cost to revive you for the spell, but I still have to have the spell.
Well, yeah, but it also says I can fail like 3 death saving throws and just continue fighting regardless.
Well, you have to. That's also the thing is
You
like
can
when you get
continue
to
to
that
fight
point,
after
then
being knocked down to 0 hit points, or even after failing 3 death saves.
Mhm.
Like chickens who keep
but
losing
only
their head cut off.
for a duration.
Yeah, after a certain duration, you just drop dead. It's essentially
Yeah.
like a you're gonna die, go all out kind of situation at that
Okay,
point.
okay.
Yeah, it's your dying light. Like
Yeah, it's almost like
Okay.
unlike the ability Second Wind, it's almost like your second wind,
Okay.
where you just kind of your death cry to jump in there. The cool thing about rage is anything that involves strength checks you have advantage on while you're raging, such as your attacks, strength saving throws, things like that. The only thing with rage is you do have to make some kind of attack every turn you're raged, or you lose your rage. It doesn't have to be a melee attack, though.
Or
It
be
can-
injured.
Yeah, or be injured. It doesn't have to be a melee attack, and you don't have to hit. A lot of people always assume that you have to hit. You don't. You do not have to hit in order to stay in rage. You just have to make the attack. So even if it's you make a ranged attack with some BS weapon that you have, like a sling, just so you have a ranged attack, and it misses, you still keep your rage. So having something ranged eventually for you might be a good idea to do if you don't already have one.
Okay.
You can also throw your weapon a little bit better than others can, but usually for your main weapon, I always suggest not doing that unless you're going to pick it up right away.
Yeah.
Because that can end up being a bad time.
Now you're unarmed.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
most of the time,
I mean, if I'm a gorilla, I do have like fucking a massive bite force. So.
I mean, yes, you do. One of the things I always thought was a little strange is I think unless you have a certain subclass, melee attacks for a barbarian aren't as good as you would think they would be. You would think they'd be able to
Yeah.
punch pretty good, but they've really saved the unarmed combat for monks.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still hit and stuff with it and do some okay damage, but you would think that a barbarian throwing a punch at you, even as an orc or in this case a gorilla, would.
I mean,
really,
yeah,
really
it's
hurt.
just a big motherfucker.
Yeah, you would
So
think
that,
you would
I,
think
I
it
would
would
imagine
do
that
more.
wouldn't feel very good.
Yeah, you would think it would do more damage than it ends up doing, which I think is wild. But hey, you know what? Everybody's got their thing. I think there is a subclass of barbarian, maybe in the newer stuff, that does focus more on unarmed. I know there's ones
I
that
think
focus
there
on like
is.
throwing
Path
and
of the
stuff.
Beast. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
Path of the Beast.
Yep, that's it. There's also the throwing one, which a lot of people know in Baldur's Gate to be super broken. I don't think it's as broken in actual D&D.
I'm leaning towards
Yeah,
Berserker or
with
Giant.
Berserker is fun. It is very fun. That is what I go with when I do. With Berserker, as a orcish race, if it has the same thing as the half orcs do, when you crit using a great axe as a barbarian enraged with Berserker, you will do some hefty damage, and you will crit more often eventually, depending on how you set up your stuff. Because there's certain feats that make it to where you also crit on a 19 instead of just a 20, so that you have more of a chance to crit and stuff. There's a lot of people that when they min-max a barbarian berserker, their whole thing is I want to get as many crits as I can, and they end up critting quite a bit, and they do some heavy damage.
Yeah.
Like just
Personally, I always recommend the Totem Warrior.
Totem is fun too.
Oh, okay.
Because if you choose some things right, you can get resistance while you're raging to everything except psychic damage.
Oh shit.
So,
kinda
like,
crazy.
if someone throws a fireball at you, well, guess what? You have resistance to that. Someone throws, like, a fucking air blast at you or some shit. You have resistance to that. As long as it's not psychic, you have resistance to it.
Hmm.
All right, I let Unicorn know to send me their character image when they get back. I'm gonna start working on the overlay real quick while we discuss a few things. So, for your tribe, since the tribe is kind of um, new concept, your troop, as you will. Um,
Yep.
do you have a name in mind for what you think you might want to name this troop?
Not immediately, but I can think of one.
Oh yeah, go for it. You can go with any kind of naming concept. I don't stick to like the strict. Oh, it has to be similar to orcs or it has to be similar to elves if you have an elven name or yada yada that stuff. So if you end up having one
Yeah.
that you think just sounds cool, you can go with that too. That's totally fine to do. Oh, is it? That's weird. What is it? Give me the image that I'm looking for. There it is. Jeez. Trying to set up the overlays real quick and it's being a pain in my butt. I figured out a way to make the overlays work a little bit easier for me than in the past. Let's see. So let's download this image. And then we'll... Oops. Delete that. And make our Velky's image. Boom. Now I have those. I can start working on the overlay. Woohoo! Let's see. And for anybody who's watching or anybody that's playing and knows some people that want to play D&D, we do have 2 spots open still for this one. So you guys can always bring some other people in as well if you think that you got some friends that would like to play. I always like having new players. One of the fun things is getting to meet a bunch of people and make a bunch of friends.
And traumatize everyone else.
That's absolutely correct.
That's the best part, man.
That's right.
Mm.
Oh, also, I've been oddly working on a kind of strange one shot that I'll eventually do. It might end up being like a Halloween one shot, or it might end up just being a I feel like making you guys feel bad one shot. I don't know yet. It is it sounds weird at first, but bear with me. It is a Teletubby one shot. Sounds crazy, but it is about
I call being Poe.
you can be Poe. Poe has the ability to be either a barbarian or a fighter, because I think that'd be funny to make Poe rage. Um, each of them you will play as or whoever is in it will play as one of the different 4 Teletubbies, and it is if you've ever seen the Teletubby show, at the end of the show, the little sun that's a baby goes down, and as it goes down, everything kind of fades to black. This is what happens after the whole world fades to black. That is and it is a horror and extremely violent game. It is it's a little fucked up with how it is, I will say, but I think it'll be fun for some people. So eventually, I'm going to be working on that as a little either 1 or 2 shot. That would be like a little bit longer of a game if it's a one shot. But I think it'll be one that certain people will find hilarious and concerning at the same time. A little bit of both. So yeah, be on the
Sounds
lookout
pretty
for that.
interesting.
Since I'm working on putting out actual D&D content that other people can buy and use, which I think I told you guys about, I might make that one of the like bonus things that people can get for free because it's Teletubbies, so it's it's an IP. I don't know if I'd be able to legally sell a Teletubby game, but but I might be able to. Hey, you never know. Let's see. We're going to name. Oh, I gotta set up the tokens too, so we'll work on that in a minute. Changing Zephry to be Lara on the overlay. Woo!
No, not lava.
And then we will change Biscuit to be Cinder.
Ah,
There we go. Oh, it's great to have. It's great to have another Telpha game going. I'm excited for it. If I had more stuff set up for today, I'd say we could play today as well, but I don't. I gotta set up some maps, which I totally forgot about. God dang, look at those perception checks. 22. You got those cat eyes.
oh yeah. Personally, what I like is because of this keeper domain subclass, uh, I have a reaction thing that's called Blessed Chosen.
Ooh. What does that do?
So, does this.
Let's see. Starting at first level, you can assert your divine will to protect your allies. When an enemy is within 30 feet of you that you can see attacks one of your allies, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll before it hits or misses. Ooh, so you can choose. Well, no, it says before it hits or misses, so I assume that's before. No, it would be. I guess you wouldn't be able to do it before they roll because you wouldn't know if they're going to roll. So if they. Oh, I like that. So potentially,
Yeah,
if they
basically you get
roll
to.
and they're gonna hit, you can impose disadvantage, and then maybe they won't hit.
Hmm.
Interesting. That'll be that'll be nice to have in combination with Dorgan, because if he's raging, and he does a reckless attack, he of course attacks with advantage, but then other people attack him with advantage. But if you use that, it flattens it back out.
Yep.
So that'll be a nice little combo.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. Oh, I sent you something that I just came up with.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let me take a gander.
I forget what the island was called already. Like
Moscar.
instantaneously. Moscar. Okay.
I'll send you the name. That way you have it.
Huge.
The Bloodback River Tribe. I like that. River was named after them due to their domination of the area. I like that. I think that's good. Bloodback River Tribe. I fuck with it.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Let me finish setting up the thing for the overlay real quick. But boom, boom, boom. Image. Bam. He definitely looks like he would be part of a tribe called the Bloodback.
I was originally thinking like Iron River and just have it be like because the river was full of so much blood from all the people they killed to conquer the area.
Oh, jeez. I think Bloodback works
So
pretty
it was
good.
named. Yeah,
I like
yeah, I think
Bloodback.
so.
And I think Cinder actually just sent me their image. Yep, they did. Perfect.
I hath returned.
Oh, hey, perfect
Hello,
timing.
Welcome back.
I am adding images to the Twitch overlay, so I needed your main one, so I could do that. We've got a pretty decent little backstory going on for some of the characters. Um,
I was actually just about to say I got an idea now to take for a little extra flavor into Soft Paw Clan.
ooh, what you got?
So I just had the idea of like their original like way of getting the title Soft Paw was through actually being like clerics and healers and paladins of sorts. And then obviously, like after the gods vanished later on, is when the tribe receded into more like fighterish things.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense because once the gods are kind of gone, even though you can still do clericy things, they might either think they can't or just kind of move away from it because there's not the connection there anymore.
Yeah.
I like that. That'll work out great. We have figured out something that will be potentially really cool for our Gorillion. Um, I think you'll like Cinder because I know you like the backstories. You're a backstory kind of gal. Um, Dorgan is a member of a troop known as the Bloodback River Tribe, and that name right there, I think that name's badass as hell. Um, they are one of a
Yeah.
few different tribes that are sending members out to Gilladris and to um, Delaria as well, but Gilladris is the main focus right now, to um, essentially do battle and to make a name for the tribe outside of the island. So that's his big thing, is getting honor and glory for the tribe outside of the island by participating in the world and doing things. And this is potentially one of the tribes.
I'm so sorry. I'm getting a phone call.
Oh, you're fine. Um, for those who are watching, at least, that's potentially going to be one of the tribes that eventually leads to the conquering or the attempted conquer of Gilladris. We'll have to see if that actually is what happens or not. Maybe they aren't one of them, but hey, it's always possible they are. But I like that potential. Um, and
Yeah, it's a cool opportunity.
our Twitch overlay is set up. Woohoo! With our 2
Yeah.
open slots. The Monday game's about to fill up with all 5 people too. One the new people from the Wednesday game and his fiance are going to join the Monday game, so that should be pretty fun. I'll have it's wild. I went from having 2 games that had 3 players in them. I don't count Joker for the other game because he's temporary. To having 2 games that are going to be filled and 2 other games that have 3 to 4 people in them. I've like doubled the amount of people that are playing in a game, which is wild. I think that's totally crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so
Oh yeah, man.
so the area you guys are going to start in Gilladris is probably going to be around where Cinder's token is now. That's where I'm thinking. Well, how much smaller will it let me make the token? Now, if I make them smaller like this and I stick them both in the same spot, is it gonna? Okay, it won't. That's fine. I can stick them like this for the moment, just so you guys can kind of see. I'll eventually make an actual like map that you guys can interact with as well. But around this area is where you guys, I think, are going to start. Now, what you guys are doing when you start is kind of a little up to how we all want to do this. Seeing how there is at least 2 of our members that are trying to make a name for their groups, I was thinking something along the lines of maybe they are all meeting in like a little small settlement or outpost of sorts, because this one gives out quests, essentially gives out missions, and all of you guys just happen to be kind of gravitating towards the same area to pick up some of these things, and then you guys kind of decide maybe to work together and stuff so you guys can get some of these done. It's kind of where I'm leaning, but I want to see what you guys think that your characters would be doing, presuming that at this point in time there's not a lot of major things going on, like there's not a war going on, or this major attack just recently happened. It's kind of like at this point everyday life, besides the fact that we're learning what Gorillions are, we're learning what Besmet are, and things like that. The only thing I would say is that Besmet, some have been seen for like a day or 2 and then not seen for a while, presumably killed, hiding, or taken by others, because it is known that people take the Besmet and do shady stuff to them. Some people even do that to Gorillions, honestly. If they find a Gorillion that's not working for somebody else, or in a sense owned by somebody else, they'll try to get them for themselves, because sometimes they're dumbasses and think, oh, I'm just this human, I can walk up and tell this Gorillion he's mine now.
Oh, see,
It'll
I
go
think
well.
that's what would be happening actually for me, like, because he's like brand new to the area. No one obviously has ever seen him before, or very seldomly, and he has no experience with dealing with any other races that aren't on. Fuck,
Moscar.
I forgot already. Moscar. So yeah, he's like maybe had very seldom interactions with like the two other races that live there, and nothing else. So this is all completely new. So he's like, someone's gonna try and like take advantage of him or something. He's just gonna like
Yeah, there could be what
murk him.
what could be happening is you might have a couple other, like a mercenary group essentially, that you're quote unquote working for. They're like, oh yeah, we'll get you that name, that reputation that you're looking for. We'll even get you paid good. And they're just planning on conning you because they think you're a fucking moron or something. So maybe
Yeah.
they've kind of dragged you along to this area because you're just kind of along for the ride. In your mind, this mercenary group is supposed to be some well-known, famous group that really makes a name and reputation for themselves, and therefore you can as well. But in reality, they're not. They're just telling you that because they know that you don't know any better and are trying to use
I
you
think
to get them
that
themselves.
like that would work to get me to the city or wherever everyone's
Yes.
meeting. And then I realize that no one there has any clue who the fuck these guys are, and I'm like, oh, these guys are losers.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that it would be very easy for you to find out either the first time they fight or the first time that they go somewhere and you're like, well, let's take the biggest thing, and they're like, oh, we don't know if we want to do that, and it turns out they're a bunch of wimps that just are trying to use you to get that name themselves. I think
Yeah,
that would probably
if they
be
argue
pretty
about me
easy.
trying to leave, I'll beat the shit out of the leader or whatever.
There you go. Yeah, to be fair, it's like 3 or 4 humans that are in this group. They're all going to be kind of shady, so you probably won't even need to beat them up because they'll know that if they actually fight you, they probably will die. They're I'm think.
Wait,
Mm-hmm.
I I have a quick question.
Yes.
Do orcs have dark vision?
Yes, I
Um.
do.
Yes.
Okay, thank God.
Yes, they do.
I can see
Well, no, because I was
in
just
dark as
about
if
to
it's
have
dim.
I was about to have flashbacks to fucking the last game because I think the out of the four of us, the only two that had dark vision was me and Cinder.
I know that I know that the warlock didn't have dark vision because he was a human. Um,
Mm.
Pin's character, and then I think eventually I know that the
And then they
the other
eventually
sky
got
dwarf,
dark
yeah, the other
vision.
sky dwarf had dark vision. I don't think um the what was eventually you guys figured out was a gnome that somehow had survived the braining in a sense. Um, and I don't think that he might have had dark vision. I can't remember if he did, but I'm pretty sure that the spring elf also did not have dark vision because they were a half elf that did not have it.
Yeah.
So you guys end up having a little bit of trouble there when you guys were in a dark area for a little bit because you were trying to be sneaky, but you couldn't be as sneaky because you had to keep everything lit up. Yes, orcs have dark vision. Yep. Yeah, so you'll have dark vision. We can actually start setting up token stuff now, which will be great. Let's see. I'll start with this one just because I've already got it right here. Let's start with Dorgon's token. You will have vision. You will have dark vision of 60 feet. Boom. So you yeah, the rage is not one of the things I can put in as a option for the thing. So you always have to keep track of the two on there yourself. The good thing about that is if you keep track of it on there, you don't have to keep track of it on your sheet, or vice versa. That's just kind of an easy way so you can click on your token and be like, oh yeah, I know that I have 1 left or 2 left or however left. Make it to where others can see your health bar, but not the numbers.
Yeah, that'll be one less thing I have to navigate for. It'll be good.
Yes.
I have it set up right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see that. Yours is your token should be good to go. Let me just make sure by deleting it and bringing it back in. Boom. Yeah, you're good to go. Oh no, I have to make you guys full size again before I update your tokens, or it's gonna make you tiny on every map. Because it'll make you small. Update default token. There we go. So now, if I drag a new one, yeah, okay, perfect. And then for Laura, you will have vision, and you have dark vision too, for 60 feet. I have your. I'm gonna mark this as HP, even though I know it's not going to. It's probably gonna change it. Oh, it might not. And then AC, boom. And save changes, and then update default token. Boom. You should be good to go now for your token. Let's find out. Yeah, but bada bing, bada boom. And then for Cinders, Cinder has her HP and her AC already set up because I did that a little bit ago. They have sight, and they also have dark vision. Woo! Yeah, that'll make it a lot easier for you guys navigating around. At least until you get somebody else who's not dark vision.
Yeah, we'll get a human player or something.
Yeah, you never know. Okay, now
I'll just have to carry him around or something, I guess.
Because I had to make it where others could see their hit points or see their bar.
Oh no, you're gonna need to carry me because don't like dirty stuff.
I mean, he's big enough, so.
Definitely. Yeah, I would say that you could probably like be something that's like up to friggin' 7 feet tall or 7.5, and that's probably pretty normal for your age, is around 7 feet tall. You're some tall guys.
Oh, so I was going off like actual gorilla height. So these are bigger than normal gorillas.
Oh yeah, I mean you can do that too. That's totally fine. Whichever way. A lot of that's mostly for flavor at that point, anyways.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right.
I mean, he is still like not fully grown. He's already like above 6 feet, so like he'll be big.
All right. So
I was gonna say I'm making Mara a bit short. They're gonna be 5'2".
Yeah, for the Velki,
he a big old boy.
For the Velki, that's definitely a little shorter than they normally are, but not too short to where they're Mally. So that's nice. I like it. Yeah, this is also back in the time when the Mally and the Velki kind of intermixed a little bit. So there'll be some that kind of a mix of both, and then some that are one and some that are other. Eventually, when it came to breeding, they kind of stayed separate on the breeding, but they're still one race together. They've always been united. So we got why Dorgan is going to be inside of this little outpost with the conning group that is trying to get him to do all the work for him and probably not even pay him. I would say for Dorgan, you've probably only been outside of Moscar for probably only a couple weeks or even a couple days at this point.
Yeah, I'm thinking that same thing. Like he's like legit brand new.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And like
for
the group
level.
he's traveling with is like the first people that he met. Like he didn't know any better at the time.
Yeah, pretty much. So the way you would have gotten to Gilgis from Moscar is for as long as your people remember. There's been this huge archway. If you ever played World of Warcraft, kind of looks like the portal from the Burning Crusades. They kind of look like that. They're these large portals that have existed all over the different realms for as long as anyone can really remember. Even now, they're ancient. And it was just an empty archway. It wasn't an active portal. The way that people discover other realms or travel to other realms is they power up these portals with magic, known as portal magic. It's different than magic you'll normally find in D&D. Like, you're not going to have a spell that you get at a certain level to where you use these portal things. It's a specially learned art. And one day, a couple years... Yeah, welcome back. One day, a couple years ago, about 2 years ago, this ancient archway that you guys had no idea what was came to life with a portal, and people started coming through, and it was people coming from Gilladris to Moscar, and somewhere else on the island, maybe not even known to you, was another portal that leads to Delari, and eventually that portal started opening up as well. Like I said, even to the Gorillians, they've only um, covered like 30 to 40% of the island at this point in time.
Yeah.
It's largely
He's
undiscovered.
an outlander too, so he lived on like the outskirts. Like his,
Oh,
his
yeah.
tribe is on the outskirts of the inhabited areas.
Oh, yes. Even in the Chronicles of Telpha, 2,500 years from now, the whole island is not um, explored. It's still largely about the same amount, because the further in towards the middle you get, the more dangerous it gets. To the point to where even the Grillians are like, yeah, we're not fucking touching that. I wanted to grab a image of the Burning Crusade portal, so you kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. It wouldn't look exactly like this. It'd be a little bit more mundane looking, but let's see.
Oblivion Gate style or something.
Kind of. They'll look pretty similar to the one I just posted inside the Discord chat, but it'll be more plain instead of as fancy looking as that. Won't have the statues and everything. It'd probably be some other random color. I think the color kind of just changes around from time to time. Um, and people started coming through there. They started interacting with some of the tribes, trying to bring some of them over, some by force, some kind of coming on their own. I almost feel like at this point, the whole trying to capture or trick Gorillians into coming over and using them as slave labor and stuff like that probably hasn't even started happening yet. That might be something that starts developing while you're going out, and you kind of learn by finding other Gorillians and be like, oh, are you out here doing the same thing I'm doing? They're like, no, I was captured and dragged out here to work. That might be something you figure out along the way, I think.
Well, that'll cause problem because he'll be like honor bound to slaughter whoever owns them and free them. Then.
Yeah, there'll be some tension that can be caused from that, which is why I'm thinking figuring out that that's a thing that starts happening as you're adventuring instead of knowing it when you first come here.
Yeah.
Might be a good idea. Because
Yeah,
if
that'd
it's
be
already
cool.
happening, then I feel like that would be your main mission already, would be to focus on freeing them.
Yeah.
Also depends on the tribe. If there's other tribes, you might be like, whatever, fuck that tribe.
Yeah, this is true.
Because a lot of them rival each other. This is there are some that kind of have friendships with each other, but most of them are not unified at all yet. Their unification is one of the things that makes them a big threat later on. And again, with the potential
Maybe this starts becoming part of that. Like
it very much could.
I start freeing them because I don't like the idea of it, and then they're like, oh hey, this guy from this random clan freed us.
With the potential
maybe we trade with them.
With the potential of your tribe being the one or one of the ones that in the future leads the Gorillian attempted conquest, this could be one of the ways in which they start gaining a little bit of that reputation and power.
Yeah.
To Gorillians, the reputation of victory and honor while they're fighting is their version of power. So the more that you go, hey, I'm part of the Bloodback tribe and I had this victory, then that's essentially reputation points for your entire tribe, not just
Hell yeah.
you.
Hell yeah. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I think this will be cool.
I think this will be very fun. So we know why you're in the area now. Laura, knowing that this little outpost is one that people kind of travel to for a little bit of trade and a little bit of getting some work. Why do you think you would be in the area? And do you think you'd be alone or with your caravan?
Probably with the caravan, healing up idiots that happen to get hurt and stuff like that. Obviously, earning a little bit of coin in the process of healing as well. Uh, Other than that, spreading the good name of Softball Clan and making sure people spread it around to other groups and caravans that they had to meet.
I like it. Yeah, so you kind of go around and knowing that this is where some people go to turn in their missions or quests or get them, know that this is an area where you're going to find people that are a little bit more injured or hurt, um, which means customers for you guys. Um, might be a good little reason why you would go over to this area. I like that.
Mm. I mean, it also helps having an eye for people that are absolute idiots that are hurt, and then people that maybe have a potential for being useful.
Yeah. And then Cinder, you said you're back, right?
Yeah.
All right. A couple things that you missed real quick. One I was starting to go over, but then you had to have a phone call or something. Jeez, how
It
dare
was
you?
the pharmacy finally calling me back.
How dare you have a life outside of this game?
Look, I'm trying to get away from big pharma and go to little pharma, okay?
I
It's
don't.
hard.
It is. It is very hard. So Dorgan is part of a tribe known as the Bloodback River Tribe, um, and his whole mission coming to Gilladris, literally probably a couple days ago at the most, is when he first came here, is to get honor, glory, and reputation for his tribe to make a name outside of Moscar for his tribe. Reputation is essentially their version of power and almost currency. So his chieftain has told him, "Hey, go out, make a name for us. If one of the tribe does something that is good for their reputation in their eyes, it does it for the whole tribe." So they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna send a couple of you guys out this way." You guys, right about where your characters are on the map, are gonna be kind of meeting each other in a smaller outpost that deals with a little bit of trade and a little bit of mission giving to others, um, almost like a quest point area. Um, and he is there with a group of about 4 or 5 humans or so that were pretty much the first people he ran into that told him, "Hey, we're this really well known and respected mercenary gang. Join us and we'll get you rich and get you reputation really fast." His character doesn't know that they are not that, and they plan on just using him to do the dirty work while they collect the money and then abandon him. Um, but Lara is part of a caravan of mostly healers at this point that is also in the outpost, because that is where they'll find a lot of people that need their help, and of course do some trade and everything, because that's where people also turn in a lot of these quests. Um, you as Cinder, why do you think you would be coming to this outpost, and do you think you would be alone or with others?
Well, I'm probably out here. I probably heard, or my family most likely heard, of some sort of trade that they wanted. So they sent me out, and I would definitely be alone.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much as a Besmet, since there's only a few dozen of you that exist, and a lot of people fear them. They don't necessarily hate
You
them.
said they get kidnapped a lot, right?
Yes, they go missing a lot. It is presumed that they are kidnapped a lot, because people
I
are
feel
researching
like that's
them.
something the guys that I'm traveling with would try and do.
It is
Ooh.
very possible. It is very possible that they would try to do something like that. Also
I'm
with
down for that kind of like character conflict too.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with Gorillians as well, which I think Blunt might already be picking up on, is at least at this point, before they begin their I want to conquest the world and everybody is super lesser than us, they probably don't agree with things like enslaving or kidnapping others, especially just because they're different. Because even though that hasn't started happening in their race yet, um, there's been talk of it, and that's just something that they don't do. They're a in a sense a don't take prisoners society when it comes to battle, but also in a non-combatant way. Um, unless they're really like at ends or fighting with another race or another tribe or group or whatever, they don't really fuck with other groups unless they unless it's purposely for battle. It's probably considered dishonorable to them to gang up on another person and kidnap them for really whatever reason. So that might be
And
something
Yeah,
that,
it's like cowardice in his mind. He
yeah,
takes it personally.
if
It's
it's
like
not
an insult
a
if he were to do
now
it.
if they were to engage somebody else in a honorable battle, which would most likely be a one versus one or an equal number versus equal number, and they lost, and then they, took them as trophies or whatever, then yeah, he might see it as a little bit more fair or honorable. But just a straight up, hey, there's five of us, there's one of them, let's go freaking take them and sell them because people want them for research. He's probably gonna be like, that is low as hell. So that might be a good conflict moment as well. I do agree with that.
well, and it actually might add that because there's a Bismuth and also a gorilla like walking around in the area, uh, they might be getting watched by my character from a distance as well.
Yes.
I will
Just
say that,
because
Well, yeah, because
obviously
it's
with
super odd.
yeah.
yeah, and because that oddity could possibly lead in maybe my own clan's being noticed in a way.
Yes. One thing about the Velki, which well, the Velki and the Mali, which I think Aaron did pretty good, even though I never really mentioned it, is since they are cat-like, they do have a natural curiosity um, that kind of comes about them. So seeing these two things that are not something they know of normally is definitely going to probably catch her attention, whether
Well,
she
see,
wants to or not.
there's
Cinder
that,
will
but
be
also I
hiding.
did pick a certain cantrip of mine that kind of helps play into a bit of a cattiness.
Ooh, interesting,
Yeah,
interesting.
so a cantrip I chose was this.
Moment to think. When you cast a spell, you briefly stop time for everyone but yourself. You can take one additional action and move around in your space while no time passes for other creatures. The action can be used only to take the search, study, or utilize action. Furthermore, you can't affect or damage any creature or object other than objects you are wearing or carrying. If an object leaves your hand, it also becomes frozen in time. That is interesting.
So
That
I
is
could be at
interesting.
one point for a moment and then just boop, I'm suddenly right in front of your face.
I do like that. That is very
Yeah, you can
interesting.
move while time is stopped. That's kind of crazy, bro.
I like that.
Yeah, but I can't do anything else other than move or
That's
search,
that's
study,
still
and
kind of
utilize.
crazy.
But
Also,
it's
for
a very
Cinder,
Like,
since you
catty
missed it,
thing.
I rendered this image for our Gorillion friend.
Hmm.
Goes to the tribal barbarian. He is a barbarian. Fun times.
Yeah, in this game, so unlike the other one, Cinder was very proud of how she looked. Didn't really care if people figured things out. In this one, she's definitely a lot more closed off.
Yeah,
So
she
like
might even
she's
be hiding what she looks, or trying to hide what she looks like to an extent
yeah,
at
like
first.
she definitely wears a lot of cloaks and hoods.
She's wearing three different robes that all have hoods at the same time. She's fucking sweating. So a little bit.
No, see, she's just
Mhm.
wearing multiple cloaks.
Yes. I can't
One
find the
on like
ones with the
different
hoods.
angle.
Yeah. So one thing about Gilladris as a world that is similar to how Dolari was is there's a little bit of everything when it comes to the regions. Of course, you have the mountainous regions. These mountainous regions over here on the map, this little whole mountain range is where a lot of the dwarves stay. Um, Down here, there's also some dwarves that stay in these mountain regions, but there's also a lot of um, the the Gorillions are probably starting to move. Well, they won't really yet. The Velki and the Mali kind of moved to this area a little bit. Unlike in the Chronicles of Telpha, where the Autumn Elves are very desert people because that's where they were kind of banished to, they kind of travel here a little bit, but they don't focus here. So it's mostly dwarves up there as well. Same for these mountains up here, and then these mountains that are up here. This colder area that's up here is where a lot of the winter elf based civilization is, and then a lot of the plains are mostly the humanoids, or a lot of the non-mountainous, or mostly the humans. Um, but some of the spring elves have, of course, moved in there. But like I was telling the others, Cinder, the two big populations on Gilladris are the dwarves and the humans. They overpopulate, or they have a higher ratio population compared to any of the other races. The Gorillians are probably about the same as the Besment to an extent, to where there's not very many of them. There's probably more than a few dozen. There's probably a couple hundred that are in the area now. Maybe more.
Well,
in
you
the
said they're
future.
gonna slowly get more
Yes.
because of trade
Yes.
or slavery.
Trade, or eventually slavery, that your character will find out about, that hasn't, it either hasn't happened yet, or it hasn't been made known to those that are still in Moscar yet. Um, Both of those are potentials, and I can definitely see them not telling the Gorillians in Moscar, hey, by the way, one of the reasons we're taking you is to enslave you. So it would make sense that if it's happening already, you don't know.
Yeah, I would imagine it is like happening slightly. It might not be in full swing, but it's probably occurring, and just we don't know about it.
Yes. And around this time, all of the gods are active in the world, and do exist in the world. Um, this is a little different than how it was in Chronicles, where not only were they not around, but a majority of people didn't even believe that they had actually exist. They thought that they were more like myths, or just stories that people were told. Um, Most people know. Um, Oh, I like the message you just sent me, Unicorn. That's funny. um, she said her character gets kidnapped all the time. Her parents just buy her back. That's funny.
Thought I sent that in the group. I'm eating Skittles, so I can't talk. And like, I'm like, oh, I got a funny joke.
That is funny. It's just like, oh man, I keep telling my parents if I get kidnapped one more time, this time it's free. He's got a little punch card. Um, but what was I saying? Shit. Yes. So at this point in time, the gods exist, and pretty much everybody who is aware of things that are currently going on are aware that the gods are real. Dorgan, you probably actually had. So the gods that created the Gorillians were Kagmar, the god of summer, and Miras, the god of autumn. They worked together to make the Gorillians. Um, you probably had some kind of um, religion within Moscar, but it might not have been accurate. So you might have had, 10, 12, whatever gods, or just one god, or even just two or three, but they might not have been accurately depicted
Yeah.
to you guys. So learning about what the gods actually are, I would say your character probably knows now that these four gods exist and that they are confirmed to exist. People talk to them in person all the time. Um, but you don't know much about them, but you do know that Kagmar and Miras are the ones that your people, or the people of Moscar, were connected to in some kind of way, just not that you knew their names or what they were. You guys didn't have that same personal connection to them that others do, because they weren't really in Moscar very often. Um,
Yeah, he probably finds it weird too, like having the gods physically there is like
yeah, it's probably something that's unheard
gross.
of.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's definitely very awkward. It's not a normal. If you want to go see this god, just go to the town they're in and try to request an audience with them. Um, Tolina currently resides up in the north. She has a couple different cities that she goes back and forth between, that are mostly winter elves and some of the other non-player races that she created. Um, she created way more races than some of the others did. Um, Others can travel there, but they're usually not treated as well. Um, but Tolina does allow those who actually follow her, and you can follow more than one god, um, to safely travel through the area without the prejudice. but she actually lives up in that area. So if you guys eventually ever travel up there, you could try to meet with her. Kagmar, I would say, probably lives right about in the middle of this mountain range right here, um, and he has a huge palace that or not a huge palace, a huge just like mansion or forge that he has there that is kind of where one of the larger dwarven cities are built around. For Cinder, that could potentially be the city that you're from in this. Is from that city. Um, and Kagmar is almost looked at not only as a god, but as the leader of this city. Um, so a little bit
I
more,
could see that being a thing.
yeah, a little bit more directly involved in the politics of certain things as well, the way that trade works in the area, teaching other dwarves directly how to do certain forging things, since that's what he does all day. Um, I would say that the city is probably just named after him. It's probably the city of Kagmar. It is the city that he personally built the majority of with his forging, and then dwarves moved in there and then helped continue it. And it's going to be the largest city in the area, and it's just called Kagmar City. Um, for Lara, you guys are, little caravans. You travel around, but there are a few established areas. I would say probably over in right about where. Oh, there's also this whole island over here that is also part of Gilladris, just so you guys know. That's not Moscow or anything. That is part of that. So there's other things up there as well. Little mixture area. That's not as inhabited. I would say that um, the Velki and the Mali probably live a lot in this area over here if, for the more established ones. Oh, I'm not green. That's not fun. I want to be green. Boom, green. Whee! There we go. They probably live more around this area for their established groups, but even those are mostly smaller areas. A lot of the times that's where, like, if they have, if a Velki or a Mali start having children, they'll live inside these more established areas until the children get older and then rejoin their caravans and stuff like that.
Okay.
Over in this area where this little island is that's off of over here is believed to be one of the areas that Itrix resides. Itrix goes back and forth between Gilladris and Dalari often, so they're not as present as like Kagmar or maybe even Tolina would be. And then this whole island up here is where Miras is most often seen. It's a little bit more undiscovered, but it also has a little bit more wild tendencies to it. There are some areas that exist up there, civilization-wise, and he probably stays in some of those areas. But then otherwise, he probably, ironically, being the one who created the Autumn Elves that eventually get slurred into being the Desert Elves, also probably stays around in the desert area at a oasis that exists over there. So it is potential. There is potential to directly interact with these gods on multiple levels, as well as followers of them. And one of the other things that I forgot to explain to Dorgan is there are another group of people known as, or another group of godlike beings known as the entities. You definitely would have no idea what the fuck these are. Most, even in the modern day, most people don't know what the heck the entities are. So pretty much all of your characters would probably have very little understanding, if any, of what these are. But they were a little bit more active during this time in Telpha. And the entities are a group of, I want to say it's 9 or 10 entities. I have to look it up again.
I believe it was 10.
I believe it was 10, yeah. And they are essentially, in a way that you would understand, Blunt Man, is kind of think of them in a way similar to how the tailed beasts are in Naruto, to where they're masses of magic that have gained sentience, in a sense.
Okay, I got
They
you.
are um, immortal in the sense to where if somehow you defeat one, they just come back after a little bit of time. Um,
Yeah, they just reform.
yeah, they just reform, um, and they are believed to be the sentient incarnations of different, um, like laws of reality or physics or things like that. Um, so, like one of the entities, I'm trying to find my
Damn, bro, we gonna have to fight Newton's third law? That's crazy.
yeah. So, like one of the entities is known as the entity of emotion. Um, so he has a lot of power that might somehow be related to how living creatures have emotion. There's another one that's named the entity of souls. He might have a little bit more of a connection to life and death or things within that realm. There's the entity of secrets, which is similar to from Skyrim, similar to that one Daedric Lord of Knowledge. What the fuck is his name? Um,
Hermaeus
yeah,
Mora,
yeah,
perhaps?
yeah, that's it. So similar to Hermaeus Mora, collecting knowledge and information stuff. There's the entity of chaos, which just likes to cause chaos and insanity. They're all entities are
Sheogorath.
all entities are true neutral, or chaotic neutral, I guess you would say. Sometimes they do things that help people. Sometimes they don't. They don't really give a fuck about mortals. They don't even really give a fuck about the gods. They are not gods, but it's unknown if the gods created them, or even if they created the gods, or if there's just no connection whatsoever. There are 10 entities that are known, but to those who study the entities, which is a very rare group of people, they believe that there could be thousands of others that we just don't see or have met before for any kind of rule of the world. So the fact that there's that fire is hot, there could be an entity that their whole existence is fire being hot, or anything of that
Mm.
nature. There's the entity of curses. There's the entity of curiosity. That's one that you guys actually might see. He's kind of an Easter egg. The entity of curiosity. The only thing he does is he watches people. So like he doesn't make deals with mortals or do anything to hurt mortals or help them. You might just be walking through the woods and see this weird little robed guy sticking his head out from behind a tree, and then he might watch you for a couple seconds and then disappear, and that's the entity of curiosity. That's what he does. It's kind of like Easter eggs in those games where kind of like in Valheim, where if you look around enough times, you might see Odin floating off in the distance, way far away, and then when you get closer, he disappears. Or the different games that Easter eggs like that. That's essentially what he is. Entity of Easter eggs. But there's a whole bunch of them. There's one that does a lot of
I mean,
interactions with humans.
wouldn't the entity of Easter eggs be just the Easter Bunny?
I mean, yeah, probably.
It's like
Probably.
fucking Panda Man from One Piece or some shit.
He's just a really ripped bunny.
Yeah, he just stays in the background. Occasionally he appears and then disappears.
One entity that people deal with way more than others, although they don't know that he's an entity, is a person known as the Dealer. He is the entity of bargains. He makes a lot of deals with mortals that usually ends up not being as good for them. They can actually be good for them, or if they are good for them, they're usually better for him. Their whole thing is trying to collect up more knowledge, information, power, things like that. For the entity of bargains, his thing is collecting artifacts and then making deals to give those artifacts or give those power out to others in exchange for them getting other things for him. So all of you guys, except for Dorkin, have probably heard of a person, not an entity, but a person known as the Dealer, who makes these shady deals with people all the time, or makes these deals with people after they do some kind of ritual. You guys wouldn't know he's an entity, but that's probably one that you've heard of before, is the Dealer. All the other ones, you guys probably have never even remotely heard of them. But besides figuring out some other character stuff, which we can always do off screen as well, because there'll be some things that you guys want to keep secret until your characters talk about it and stuff like that. Um, there's not much more that we need to go over. Um, we know that Dorgan's tribe is the Bloodback River tribe. I would say that you guys probably just live near the Bloodback River. That would be your quote unquote kingdom that you're from. Um,
Yeah.
Cinder, it seems like you might be from the city of Kagmar. Um, that might be your
Yep.
home of birth.
That
And
seems
then,
like a perfect place that my parents would be.
and then Laura, we know that you're part of the Softpaw Caravan. If you want to come up with another name for their more permanent location down in the area, you absolutely can. Those permanent locations are more a mixture of some of the caravans, where the caravans themselves are the more separate clans in a sense.
Okay.
So if you want to come up with one for that and then get back to me with that whenever you can, that's totally fine too. Or I can try to make one up. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter to me either way. Um, and then,
I'll think of something.
uh, oh, cool! I just realized that my Discord says when I'm streaming. I never realized that before. Just like how it'll say if you're playing a game. I don't know why I never noticed that. But otherwise, I've got all of your tokens set up. Um, I've looked over all your character sheets, and they all look pretty good. You guys are all level 1, which is right where you're supposed to be. And
Well, we're not level 20 already?
no, not yet. Um, Cinder, you may have missed this. I don't know for sure if this campaign will be like the other Telpha, where it'll go all the way to 20, or if it'll be one that goes to 12 or 15. Like I was telling them, we have the Chronicles of Telpha, which we all know is the 5-book series thing that's turned into the campaign, and then we have the prehistory, which is the God Wars, the gods disappearing, things like that. This is essentially the prehistory of the prehistory. This is what leads up to the God Wars, the dwarves splitting into two groups, the Gorillians starting to get some of the power that they have, other major things that play a part in the future. This is how we get from a undisclosed time to when all that stuff is about to happen. So if there's different things like the dwarves splitting that your characters may have a more direct interaction with or reasoning for those happening, but also since this is the prehistory, if there's other things that we as a group together, players and DM, want to start to try to make happen in the world, or think we want to explore happening in the world, you can always throw ideas out to me and we can make other things happening as well. Right now in the world, it is a relatively conflictless world at the start. There's no major things happening like the Gorillion War or, you know, the catastrophe that's happening in the future because the gods missing, things like that. There's not any major events happening yet, but they're going to start happening soon. So if you guys have ideas for some major events you'd think would be cool to include, such as little wars or skirmishes or other things like that, feel free to send them to me and we can discuss adding those to the story. This one will be a little bit less follow the book and make different changes with the characters as much it will be as kind of developing everything with the characters to an extent. So because of that, we might only go to level 12, we might go all the way to level 20, depends on how things go. You guys might actually have a hand in the God War depending on how we go about things.
I could see that happening.
Oh yeah,
I could see that happening.
I think it'd be cool to go all the way to level 12.
Oh yeah, I think it's definitely a possibility. It all depends on how things play out, and then of course certain things that are undetermined, like which Gorillion troop leads or which troops lead the eventual conquest attempt later. It could be
Oh, I'm gonna
Dorgan's.
determine that shit, man.
It could be Dorgan's group that is one of the leaders of that. Probably more indirectly. I don't think Dorgan at this point is, hey, let's conquest the world. Most of the Gorillions at this point aren't.
I mean, if he starts having to deal with a whole bunch of slave trade and freeing a bunch of people, he might become, hey, let's conquer the world.
He might.
He is neutral.
The thing that is ironic about it is at this point, slave trade or dishonorable actions and such like that is beneath the Grillians. But during the Grillian War, they actually enslave the Autumn Elves. But of course, that's 2,500 years from now. So the mentality of them kind of evolve or degrade to an extent. So it's ironic that right now they're really not trying to be bad. They're just trying to make a name for themselves doing what they know how to do. But then in the future, it kind of gets a little sloppy with how things work.
Well, guys, sounds like we might be taking part in the Guerrillian War against our comrade.
Well, the Grillian War happens about 2,000 years from now, so probably not.
Well,
I will
guys,
become a more. I
looks
will
like-
make myself into a lich as a barbarian, and I will survive all the time. I will be
Whoa.
immortal.
No, joke's on you. I'm the one that's going to become immortal through my saintly patronage. And, yeah,
Oh
just
gosh, Laura's
go
gonna get
around.
canonized.
Yeah, Laura's going to be like a fucking wandering saint.
There you go, Saint Laura of
Cinder,
the soft paws.
Cinder's just trying not to die.
Cinder's trying to figure out what's going on, man. I think it's probably still the case that Cinder is mostly secluded to an extent of how certain things work, like she was in the past, but for different reasons. So it'll be fun. We got two characters that don't fully know how the world works. One way less so than the others, which honestly works since you know less about the world's lore so far. You'll learn with your character.
Indeed.
And then one that that probably knows a little bit more than the others because they travel around a lot.
And not to mention, they observe quite a lot as well.
Yes.
And again, the moment to think thing, I'm going to be playing into quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which god or multiple gods do you think your cleric is connected to? I didn't think to ask that.
Honestly, at the moment, they probably take some tidbits from just about all of them.
That makes sense. Yeah, at this point, Tolina is not considered a quote-unquote bad guy like they kind of are in
Yeah.
the future. Oh, cool! Looking at the overlay, I just realized it kind of matches up with the screen, so it looks like the map just continues. That's cool. I didn't realize it did that. Oh no, now it doesn't. Okay, now it does. That's cool. So the background and the map are matching. That's cool. Anyways, yeah. So Tolina's not really considered a bad guy at this point because they haven't started the God Wars. But some are like about them, but some are kind of about all the gods. If I remember right, the gods that helped create the Velki and the Mali were Itrix and Miras were the two that created the
So-
Velki together.
I think Itrix would be the main one, but honestly, like when it comes to their clan, it's more along the lines of we respectfully entwine all of them so that way we're not like solely disregarding one over the
Yes.
other.
That might make some interesting conflict of within your character once Tolina kind of starts being a bitch, going, well, we're supposed to be more balanced, but this one's making it kind of hard to do that.
Listen, bitch, we're trying to respect you, but you're making it really fucking hard.
You're kind of being a bitch right now, and I made this with as much respect as I can give. That's fucked
fuck
up.
you.
Yeah, but fuck you. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that
Like,
works.
I
that,
know you hate Itrix, but you know, you don't have to hate us for being made by them.
So that actually works pretty good because Itrix is also considered the goddess of life and stuff. Tolina is considered the goddess of death. Miras the god of magic. Kagmar the god of forging. Different things like that. They all have multiple titles. So
Yeah.
having a
Which is why I feel it kind of ties like respecting all of them, but
yes,
mainly going Itrix.
yeah, mostly Itrix because that's where your healing magic would come from, but probably a little bit towards Mirrors as well, just because of the fact that it's magic and he's the god of magic. And then, of course, Death,
Mhm.
because life and death are both involved when it comes to healing. And then
Mhm.
Kagmar, probably a little bit because of their. Um,
I think for Kagmar, it would be based around the idea of forging, but taken from a different perspective.
yeah, that's what
So
I was.
less
That's what I
on
was
the
thinking.
forging of materialistic product, but more like groups, compounds, all that kind of shit. Like,
Yes. Kagmar is also the god that is connected to like doing a lot of work and stuff like that. Just creation
mhm.
in a less life sense and more of a creation with your hands instead of just forging. So crafting
He's the
and
gods of hobbies.
yeah, gods of hobbies. That's
I'm
right.
Yeah.
literally knitting right now, and I'm like, fuck yeah, Cragmar.
Yeah. Cinder definitely follows the knitting pattern that was created by Kagmar.
Absolutely, yeah.
She gets a magazine that always has a Kagmar's crafts section and does it
Yeah,
every month.
Cragmar's handicrafts of the week.
Mhm.
Kagmar's crafts, I love it. Um, but yeah, this will be fun because if you guys do interact with the gods, since you guys haven't really gotten to yet in the other campaign, and well, I mean, I guess you guys won't get to. You actually get to see what their personalities are, which will be pretty interesting
Yeah.
because you guys have.
Spoiler alert: they're all assholes because they're gods.
I was gonna say, yeah,
No,
they're
no,
Okay,
some of them are
less
nice.
Itrix. I
Some
was
of
gonna
them are
say
which one?
nice.
Itrix
Which
will
one is the
probably
one
be
that fucks all
nice.
the humans?
Well, we don't know yet.
Zeus. I
That's
believe
Zeus.
that's Zeus.
Yeah, that I mean,
No, yeah, but who is the Zeus of your gods?
oh,
There's
Itrix.
always one.
probably
Probably
Kagmar if there is
Itrix.
one.
Okay.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's a little.
Oh no, that sounds about right. If he has like a whole metropolis built around him, so
I mean, that's fair. I was thinking Itrix just because of the aspect of life. So creation of life is more.
That's true.
Mm.
Yeah. Hey, you never know. Maybe it's both.
Oh
Maybe
my
they're
God,
all.
there's two Zeuses.
Maybe they're all
all of
little
the
horn
above.
dogs. Um,
Yeah, except Lena's more into like the fucking necrophilia.
gross.
Mm.
Mir-
Yeah,
Mirrors is
grim
oh,
indeed.
also a thing with Mirrors. So in the Chronicles of Telpha, one of the major plot points right there at the beginning was that dragons were extinct because they had been attacking people and that they had
Oh God, are we gonna see dragons?
Oh,
dragons
yeah,
are
we're
not
gonna see
extinct.
dragons.
Dragons are not extinct, but they are rare. Um, dragons
Okay.
had a
They about to be.
Dragons had a big moment not too long after the gods disappeared, where they started to have more of a presence within the worlds until they were made extinct. And at this point in time, the dragons are still um, followers of Mirrors, so they're a little bit more tame than they used to be. They're still out there. They still do dragony things,
They
but they're
still do
rare.
bullshit.
Yeah, they still do bullshit. Um, for Dorgan, a little context there. Dragons were extinct, but a tarnished silver dragon that
Hmm.
spewed fire and ice at once from his breath attacked the town that they were in, and he was fucking huge.
It was bullshit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and that was the first dragon that anyone had seen in like probably 900 years at that point,
It's
at
Alduin.
least.
Fuck.
Yeah, kind of. Not
Yeah.
really, but kind of. And he was controlled
Minus
by,
their resurrection magic and being a god and all that stuff.
and that dragon was controlled by the leader of a group known as the Tarnished Order, which thankfully for you guys will appreciate. They don't exist yet. Um, they have ways before they exist. Um, and they were
Oh
essentially the
thank
bad
God.
guys trying to. Itrix was the only god that was the last god that was seen. She became a mortal and eventually died of natural causes or old age. But her godhood was sealed inside of her crown, and it is believed that if somebody can obtain the crown, and wear it, that they will essentially either replace her as a god or reincarnate as her as a god or something along those lines. And the leader of
Ooh.
the Tarnished Order is trying to get the crown, and the group that is in the Chronicles has somebody else in their party, an NPC, that is prophesized to be the person who is supposed to get the crown next.
Hey, new idea. Laura's gonna be the canonical saint that hid the crown.
Ooh, possible. Possible. You never know. If she can survive about 500 years, that can happen. 400 to 500 years, somewhere around that point in time. Yeah, so we won't have a exact year and stuff for this campaign like we did in the past, because the God Wars don't have an exact time that they started, and since there's potential that you guys might be jumping a year or two here and there, some time skips and some things, I don't want to give us a exact year because that gives us a countdown to when certain things have to happen. Um, so the God Wars happened sometime between 2,500 to 2,400 years ago, um, and you guys are about in that range where it's gonna happen soon. Sometime within your lifetime is when it's gonna start. So we'll see. We'll see how you guys interact with that. But I think for now that is mostly what I have for you guys. So I guess unless you guys have any other questions um, involving this campaign, I think we are good for today. And next week we can start session 1.
All
Yes.
right.
If you guys do have any ideas of some stories that you want to put out, either for your character or for the whole group, send them to me in a private message. That way, we can make sure that we don't spoil anything if we do decide to go with them, and I can start making some ideas and run some ideas past the rest of you guys and see what kind of cool stuff we might be able to come up with. Um, Otherwise, I think that's going to be it for today. I'm
All
excited.
right.
All
I'm
right.
excited to play the game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
I'm going to hop off of voice chat so I can do my other shout out stuff that I do at the end of it, especially since it's now technically 2 different streams. But otherwise, yeah, I'll be in the chat. The one that you guys are in now, the Chronicles of Telpha Friday, I'm going to change that to be what we need for this game so we can keep everything separate and not confuffled. But yeah, if you guys have anything, either drop it in there, drop it to me in a private message. And for anybody who is watching, if anybody is right now, there are 2 spots that are still open. Feel free to join my Discord and message me, and you can potentially join these games. Let's see if it'll actually do it. There we go.
One of us. One of us.
But
One of
One of
us.
us.
One of us.
yay, we're culty again. But anyways,
Listen, I'm a
Base.
cleric. Culty is my shit.
that's true. Um, the rest of you guys, I'll see you guys one on Tuesday and also on Thursday. You guys have a great day.
You too.
And for those who are still watching the stream, thank you guys for watching. If you like the music, I've only really played one song today. Check out michaelgilfeystudios.com or their Patreon. You can get their music. That's going to be all the music I use. Just with the Patreon, I believe it's a $15 tier that I have. You can use it in your games or your streams or your videos royalty free, and it's like 32 gigabytes of music. It's a lot. And then, of course, if you buy any of their stuff through their website, you can use that for free, or, well, royalty free. Not really free, you're paying for it. But royalty free as well. All you have to do is shout them out like I'm doing now, which I think is a very fair trade. If any of you guys want to join this game or any of the other games, check out the Discord that I linked below called The Tavern. It is a gaming and D&D Discord that is run by me. If you guys are interested in some other games, I have 4 games running right now. On Monday is the Chronicles of Telpha, the game that comes after this one, timeline-wise. That runs from 8:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. On Tuesdays is The Veiled World, a modern fantasy where the fantasy side of it is hidden from the modern side. They're 2 separate worlds living in the same world. the Veiled World and the Mundane World. That is from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays is a run of Storm King's Thunder, a continuation from a group that played The Lost Mines. That is at 8:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time as well. That game is actually full. The Tuesday game still has room for up to 2 more people. And then there's this game that has room for 2 more people. It'll run every Thursday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Normally, not today because it's Session 0. There's still room for 2 more people in that. There's also always the possibility in the future of more games opening up, one-shots opening up, all kinds of different things. There's other DMs that are in our group that are also running some stuff on their own, and I know plenty of other DMs that need players as well for lots of different times. I'm in a whole server that's dedicated to that. If you want information on that server as well, join mine, message me, I'll get you in there. Otherwise, you guys all have yourself a great day, and thanks again for watching.